All right. The name is Delman, aka Four Eyes, the Ugly Professor, doing the new album review for Rome Streetz and Conductor Williams. Conductor, we have a problem. Conductor, we have a problem. The name of the album is called Trainspotting, like the old flick from the 90s, if you're aware of that movie. And this album review is done on behalf and courtesy of Old Heads Network. All right. Rome Streetz has 18 different projects since 2015. That's when he came on the scene. Came on the scene first with mixtapes. So a combination of mixtapes, studio albums, and collaboration albums. He has like 18 different projects since 2015. But I only have like a few albums and only heard a few albums from him. And the first time that I really heard him, I knew about him prior, but I never actually heard a project from him until Coup de Grace with Ransom. That's a joint he did with Ransom. Came out in 2021. And that was pretty good. I was really impressed with that album. And then he had his solo album, Kiss the Ring, was dropped in 2022. That was very solid. And then he had another joint. Now, these are only the joints that I've heard that I'm mentioning right now. Another joint that I heard from last year that he did with the producer Derringer. I believe that was called Hatton Garden Hold Up. That was just okay. I didn't really, it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. But they're the only few projects I've heard from him. But from what I heard, for the most part, is very solid. And Conductor Williams, if you're not familiar with his work, he's done production for artists the likes of Westside Gunn, Conway the Machine, Bodie James, Tyler the Creator, which I didn't know, Drake, J.I.D., J. Cole, Joey Badass, Your Old Drew, etc., etc. And he has like a dusty, dirty sample lo-fi sound. It's like boom bap, but at times he goes with the drumless style of beats, where it's just a sample and no drums, just a loop, or a chopped up sample with no drums. He tends to do that on a regular basis as well. So as far as Rome Streetz, his style of rap, you know, I have this saying, he is in the glorious drug dealer talk lane. Yeah, he's clever street shit. It's like what they call it, luxury coke rap. That's what some people label it as. That's what he's in that category. That's what he does. And I like that shit. Long as you can rap and you good at that shit, you can make it sound clever and sound fresh, I'm all for it. And those cats seem to be the ones keeping the traditional sound of hip hop alive. Like cats like him, Bodie James, you know, Pusha T and Freddie Gibbs and Benny the Butcher, 38 Special, Conway the Machine. You know, those type of niggas are keeping the East Coast hip hop traditional sound of boom bap alive with the samples and all that shit. So I really appreciate cats like him, being I'm a producer that does that type of production style. So I'm gonna get into some of the songs from this new album, Trainspotting. He got a joint that starts off the album called Andre Agassi. That's the famous, you know, tennis player. Well, he's retired right now, but you know, he's a legendary tennis player. He named the song after him. I like the joint. It's a good way to start the album. You got joints, the second track and the third track. The second track called MASH, you know, like the old TV show MASH, if y'all familiar with that. My old heads will know. And he got the third track called Runny Nose. Those two songs I thought were just okay. And that's due to the lack of drums. I'm not a big fan of drumless beats. I'm not saying you gotta be heavy with the drums, but give me a little percussion. You know, I'm not really a fan of just the sample and a nigga rapping over it. no matter how good they rap over. You know, sometimes I can get with it, sometimes I can't. It's, you know, it's just not a big fan of it. So that's why I don't really care for those songs like I probably would if they had some percussion to them. But they're okay. They're not bad, you know. But I you know, listen to the album. I got to be in the mood for those. So sometimes I might skip those 2 songs. Then you got another joint called Ricky Bobby. And that's featuring Method Man. That's a banger. Meth kills it as usual. He's the feature king right now. I know Lil Wayne used to have that title. Some people might say he still does. But I think Method Man the last 3 years is the feature king. Because every feature he's been on like the last 3 or 4 years, he kills it. He just shines. So I got him as the feature king right now. And then you got another joint called Blood. This is a funny title for a song. Blood in His Boogers. Enjoy this cool. I like the joint. Then you got, I really dig the song Rule 4080. Really love that joint. It got a chorus sample, like from a choir sample, should I say. I'm sorry about that. Choir sample, should I say, like from a old gospel song. Shit is crazy. That's one of my favorite joints on there. I really dig that joint. And I dig the song Died 1,000 Times. That's tight. Then you got another joint called Heartbreaker. It's like an underground chick joint. And it has the sample in there, the singing sample I really like. It's like, you build me up to tear me down again. I really like how he Conductor freaks that shit in there. It's a banger. And I didn't care for the song called 10 Toes featuring Jay Worthy. I really didn't care for it. What I would say about that song, I kind of like the way the Conductor flips the old Entombed sample that's been used several times in the past. He freaked it different, but overall, I can't get with the song. Even though I appreciate how he freaked that sample, overall, I can't get with the song. It's not a song I listen to. Never in the mood for that song. I tried to like it, but I just can't like it. I don't like it. And then you got the album. The album ends very strong. Like the last 5 songs are official. You got I can't remember the name of the joint. I believe it's called I want to say Cornell, but it's not. It's Coroner's Revenge or something like that. I can't remember that. I should have wrote that shit down. Then you got another joint called 99 Attributes. Then Joe Pesci, that joint. And then you got Electric Slide and Resource Room. Those 5 joints are banging. They are official. They end the album right. I dig them. And this album is getting put out and released on different streaming platforms off Mass Appeals. It's on Mass Appeal Records. I think that's the joint that the record label that Nas is a owner of or part owner of or whatever. So Mass Appeal going to have a lot of albums dropping from that label this year from what I see. They line up. And like I said, Conductor, he has like one of the best taglines for a producer. Conductor, we have a problem. Conductor, we have a problem. Whatever whatever the term is for when a producer puts his name in front, like Just Blaze used to have Just Blaze, that type of shit. That shit is catchy. I always dig it how he puts it in the joint. Or he has another one where it say Conductor. Damn, Conductor, where did you find that at? Like referring to the sample that he's using and shit. So he got some cool taglines that I like. As a producer, I can appreciate that, even though I don't have no tagline. But I will give this album a strong B+. I dig it. Like I said, there's only one song that I definitely don't like. 2 other songs, kind of like hit and miss. I gotta be in the mood to let them play. And what's crazy is those 2 kind of like they number 2 and number 3 on the album. So when I first listened to the album, I was like, oh, this ain't gonna sound, this ain't gonna be my thing. But after track 3, it got much, much better. So I highly recommend this joint. So subscribe, like, and all that good shit, and I'm out.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.